I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now, what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
Oh, give me fucking truth, baby. Come on. Let's go.
How have I been successful in life?
How has he been that successful in life?
Not
We
showing
are
up for
live,
podcast.
folks. Intro and all. It's all happening in real time. That's not just a recording. That's impressive work by the youngster. Nushan, how you doing?
Betting's not going great right now. I don't know if I think you were aware of this. A lot of us are aware of this. It seems like Bizarro Worlds. There's some pretty big mushes that they're having a decent start to the year, and then there's us folk that are usually all right at betting MMA, and we're just absolutely getting torched. So is this weekend going to be when it starts to turn? Let's hope so, because it's been ugly.
I certainly hope so. And there's a season for every mush in this MMA gambling game. Everybody has their day where they find that the blind squirrel finds a nut. It just hasn't been our day recently. Wesley, how you doing?
I mean, and then you got the dudes that's like the old man cheats Jimmy Hart, you know, our boy that makes the dumb videos. That guy couldn't hit a bet, mushing, non-mush, fucking snow dogs mushing, like he couldn't hit shit. So yeah, I feel okay. But yeah, it's been rough, man. But we was talking before the show though, and my past like 4 years, I've started down a 2 or 3 grand every year. I don't know what it is early. This year, you just
gotta want it. You don't want it enough at the end of the year because you made your money from last year.
Don't talk about it. You gotta be about it.
That's
Hold
right.
on. Let me get my bag of eBay money. But I mean, it's been good for the chalk chasers, man. And it's wild because I usually do the best on MMA playing small chalk and plus money parlays. That's how I make my money. And I don't think I've been chasing dogs. I've just liked a lot of dogs, and they're not hitting, man. But that's it.
It's been chalk city. Like I added up, they're hitting at about 75% in Toutmaster. That's pretty high.
We're due.
And I feel like the big chalk, when of course we try to find ways to bet them instead of just chalking it up, they're kind of doing what the odds say, you know. Bo Nickel, he fucking choked him out. That's what it was like, minus 200 for a submission. Like that was
one of the few bets I won.
Round one. I threw a dart on TKO. I was like, come on, man.
I did too, yeah.
Those are the type of bets that I make. You try to go contrarian, and that shit is just not hitting to start.
Yeah, I also had the under 1.5 at like minus 275 in a parlay, and of course that's exactly what happened. But the other part of the parlay fucking lost. It just that's my shit. I think the past few years, it's like 3 years now, favorites are hitting it over 70% on the year. I think it's like the past 3 years. It's been crazy with favorites.
They're starting to clue in a lot of these wide lines. I mean, I know crazy shit does happen, and we have seen a couple of those so far this year, but I feel like generally the chalk is coming through, and they're pricing it that way, unlike, you know, a while ago.
But also, it'll even out by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Generally, the books get these things right, and you know, if there's a 70% chance throughout the year that the favorite's going to win, that's where it's going to finish, and we haven't been hitting at that thus far
let's get
in
some
2023. Dogs. So what we're saying is chalk parlay, baby, all across the card.
This isn't Bellator.
Yeah.
This is not Bellator.
There is a Bellator too, and Hyper.
Good Bellator.
Most people want a refund from Lance after those picks that he sends through. He sends in the DMs. You don't want those. You want to send them back every time. We're going to chat about last week's card. You know what? I have a confession to make. I bought it and I enjoyed it, and I felt like I got my money's worth. And you don't get to say that about UFC all that often these days. So UFC 285, obviously we know what was up top. Fat Jon Jones, big bone Johnny Jones, moving up to heavyweight, taking on Cyril Gane. And that, yep, I'm a dumb guy.
Right there with you,
there's a lot of dumb guys out there. There's a lot.
Yep. I mean, what, Wes? You knew what was going to happen here, so you go first.
Well, I mean, let's just talk about the madness of that line, though, to where they were betting Gane.
Let's not talk about it too much, though.
Yes,
they were betting him to the bell. Like Jon Jones got down to, I believe, our Hungarian friend said it got done like minus 135 somewhere right before the fight.
Penny.
That's my, to me, that in hindsight, of course, that's a notch right below Floyd. It's not that. Don't get me wrong.
I disagree, because we knew what Floyd was bringing to this. He wasn't off for. I mean, I guess he was off for a bit, but man, like Jon Jones, 3 years coming in looking like.
But it was just
hype. Like
it was just some questions here and there, though. We knew skill wise, this was never going to be close, especially if Jon just grabbed this man. And what happened? Jon grabbed that man and did about what he does. Look, I will say, the betting aside, the revisionist people I've seen over the past couple of days of all these motherfuckers that pick Gane for this reason or that reason, but not you. There's a bunch of them like, oh, this guy's a bum. He might be. It's just heavyweight is so shitty, and there's so little of grapplers. Look, I get it. He might be, but you can't go, I'm picking Gane for this reason and that reason, and he can kick Jon in his little skinny legs, and Jon's fat and this and that. And then after he gets just completely obliterated, you can't go, well, he's just a bum. Like,
I never thought that dude was going to beat Jon Jones anyway.
I mean, you got to take a little credit for your pick there, right or wrong. But
oh yeah.
I mean, look, Jon looked like Jon looked on the scale and shit. And like, he actually looked a little better than like those picks. He looked way better at like the weigh-in when he flexed and shit. When he flexed, you could his abs tried to pop out a little bit under that fucking, that shell.
There was like a ripple instead of like an ab.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it's true. Like, Jon's frame, he is built to be a 205er. He's a big 205er. You can't put on like muscle like Reem on that kind of frame unless you're on the fucking gear. Like straight up, you're not putting on weight on a frame like that. Jon did that. That doesn't matter. None of these dudes are good enough to even fuck with a fat Jon Jones.
No. I mean, Jon Jones out-wrestled Daniel Cormier, and then Cormier went up to heavyweight and out-wrestled all these schmucks.
Right.
So,
and then like the last thing, like, I'll just, to touch on a little bit of legacy and like, fuck, I hate to even talk like GOAT talk and shit. I'm seeing, I know I got some Canadians on the thing. Like, look, I don't think this did. I read something, I believe it was Josh Gross or somebody was like, before this fight, if you thought Jon was the GOAT, this didn't change your thinking. And if you didn't think Jon was the GOAT before this fight, this shouldn't have changed your thinking, because it was got. Look, I agree with a little bit of that. The man still went and beat the top dude that was there for the heavyweight championship of the world. That does matter something. Like, that does matter for a legacy. All these other dudes get credit for these legacy fights and get like DC's beating up dudes and shit.
Yeah.
Jon, like I'm a big GSP fan. You can't say a man is a GOAT when he got knocked out by somebody. You just can't give that to me.
By Matt Serra, you mean?
Is he a better all-around skilled fighter? I guess you could make that argument in some form or another. The greatest fighter that we've ever seen is Jon Jones. This fight didn't do anything to change my mind. For me, it did put a little bit on his legacy. So, he's a 2-belt holder. He's a 2-weight champ. That means something. I don't care who
Jon Jones goes out there and does get knocked out next time out, or maybe the next time after, then he is no longer the GOAT.
No, because GSP got knocked out in his prime, his absolute prime of his career.
Yeah, and then
he got
and then came back and
destroyed
reigned
him
anyway.
and absolutely
that's all
destroyed him
fine.
after.
That's
it's
fine.
Not, like
and
that's
why
MMA, man.
That's why I have GSP as the second greatest fighter ever. I think he is the second greatest fighter ever. You can't be the greatest fighter ever in your prime. You got and Luke Thomas did a little breakdown of it. I think he's dead on. It's who he got knocked out by. Matt Serra was a bum at that point. He got knocked out by a bum. That matters. Like if Jon Jones goes out and gets knocked out by Francis Ngannou, that's different than getting knocked out by Matt Serra. Yeah. So we're splitting hairs here because I do think you could put those three guys, Anderson Silva, GSP, and Jon Jones, are the greatest fighters that we've ever seen. And Canadians are going to have a biased opinion. Americans are going to have a little biased opinion. Brazilians are going to have a biased opinion. The most talented guy who beats both of those dudes in a fight anytime, anywhere. It's Jon Jones, man.
Yeah, I just think Jon Jones can still lose and still be the GOAT.
I agree with that. I think now with a heavyweight title, which you could say this doesn't mean shit. It was gone. And all the revisionist shit.
You can say the same thing, and we did say the same thing when GSP went up and beat Bisping instead of one of the guys who was actually the best middleweight.
And people don't even talk about GSP really doing that now, that's part of his legacy. That mattered to me. Like I thought that was a big thing for his career. It didn't change how I felt about GSP though, one way or the other. Jon Jones is locked in to the greatest fighter of all time. Like the title defenses, I'll still say to the day I die, nobody had a better run in their prime than Jon Jones. The level of talent he would look at Anderson's run, the guys he was fighting, is laughable compared to what Jon Jones fought. GSP, probably better than Anderson, but
it's better than Anderson.
Nowhere near what Jon fought in his run, his 7 or 8 fights in a row. That matters for his legacy to me. Level of competition, how he beat those guys, and he's never been beat. He's never been beat. I don't want to hear the arguments about fucking Gus. No, he didn't.
No,
Reyes didn't beat him. Brad's talked about it a number of times. That is people scoring fights when a dude that is a huge underdog does a little bit better than what they were supposed to do. Everybody wants to score the fight for him when they lost. John's undefeated. He's never been beaten. He's the greatest fighter of all time. And last thing, he's a piece of shit. Like I hate.
There you go.
I respect the people that are like, I'm not going to root for Jon Jones, and I don't like Jon Jones. He hit a break. That's all true. He's not the best. He's not a good person. I've said it 100 times. I'll say it 100 more. When you watch guys fight in a cage for a living and it's your entertainment, a lot of them are bad people. You have to take all of that shit out of it.
There we go. So it be said. Sean, any additional thoughts on the main event?
Fucking gone. He is lucky he never had to fight fucking Blades, because then he would have got exposed. And it is fucking horrible that he did not shore up at all that takedown defense. He looked like an absolute rookie.
Not just the takedown, but the work once he got taken down. He had no answers.
The whole grappling game is.
Yep.
Yeah, that's bad. Should have known better.
Same. I'm right there with you. Oh well. And I don't know about you. I based my pick on just being like, yeah, I don't know that Jon Jones is going to wrestle, and that was just stupid.
By the end of the show, you were already questioning where you were at in your head on that fight. By the end of the show last week, you were like, I don't know.
That's because I kept drinking and the truth started to come out.
Yep.
I couldn't play my bit for the show.
So
be the contrarian. Let's blame it on that.
Do we get him Stipe next? Like that's the fight.
Yeah, they're obviously going to do that.
That does absolutely nothing for nobody. Absolutely,
because no one gives a fuck about Stipe, because Stipe never fights and holds out and bullshit.
And there is legitimate dudes that I am intrigued for John to fight in the heavyweight division now, which is crazy. But Spivak, our other boy, there is some young bangers that should get shots at that belt, whether you think they got a shot or not.
Jones destroys Spivak.
Of course, but there's guys, but the other dude that's fucking just
Pavlovich.
Aspinall?
Pavlich. I mean, Pavlich. I mean, Blades at heavyweight. There's guys there that he should be fighting that's younger.
I know, but they're gonna do money fight because they don't know how long until either Jones retires or royally fucks up again. So they're
and
obviously gonna do.
I'm not saying they got
something that does a little bit better than him versus Pavlich.
I think you could sell a Pavlich fight.
If he beats Blades, you can, because that's what's going to be next if he beats Blades.
I think you could sell a Blades fight with Jon Jones. Those are just all unknowns. Like that
will be next after the Stipe fight. If
we
Jon
know
wants to
what
fight
happens,
again.
though. That's the bad thing now. Like, we know what happens with Stipe. We know what's going to happen there, man.
Yeah,
we know. Gonna fuck that old man up.
Yeah,
that's
sad.
That one's not going to be great. Rest of the card, we'll go through this relatively quickly. Let's go bottom up, and we can go quick through a few. Is it? Let's see. Main card, 4 prelims. What's that?
Our dude Brent in the chat. It's got me rolling.
We know. We don't like to draw too much attention to it. We're humble men. Handsome, humble men. Lightweight division, Loik Radzhabov defeat unanimous decision Esteban Rivovic. The other Basharat, Farid, unanimous decision over Damon Blackshear. Tabitha Ricci submitted. She broke the pasta in half. It was too dry, too old, just broke the arm in half. Happens sometimes. Were those just the early prelims, or were there 5 early prelims?
Samon, Martinez, and Gary Cannon were left.
Yeah, those also happened. And Ian Gary is the fadiest of plants ever.
Sprinkle them seeds.
The problem is, like, they might give him shitty enough guys where he's gonna squeak by at stupid inflated numbers and then when he actually fights somebody good, the books are going to know better, and we won't get that good of a price. That's the worry with him. Other than that, he's very hittable and not that good. And I hope he keeps getting that Conor McGregor push because that will help us at some point.
Can't believe I didn't hit the under on this. I just had it in a parlay.
Man,
like under 2.5.
Yeah, I did too. I ended up having it. This early shit just broke me to even start the night. Like, I didn't trust Loki. Was an easy fucking small fave. Basharat, easy. I even fucking faded him on Blackshear at the number. Another small fave. Ricci, love sub plus 600. Passed on it because I just didn't want to fucking even touch that fight. So passed on that. Had the fight doesn't go in the Saman fight, he like just crushes Mana. Is fouling him, eye poking him, like all kinds of shit.
The dirtiest.
Still can't finish the fucking fight. And then Gary had the under in the Gary fight, and that guy's gonna make us one day. Like, we're gonna get one. I'm fading that guy. I don't know. I mean, Song fucking dropped this guy. Had him just done. I'm fading this dude almost every time if he's a minus 700 fade.
The dude can crack it all. Sean, anything else on those early ones?
Nah, nothing really.
Beauty. I lost a bunch of money. Actually, I didn't lose that much money because I just round robin the first 4 dogs. Lost a unit on all of that shit. That's not terrible. Next up, the Canadian. Canada's on a roll, baby. Canada is back. That's maybe we summoned it with all of our GSP talk, but Barryu buried Marquez in the second round. Rebus, unanimous decision over Vivi Arujau. Man, the Dricus Dupartide wins out.
Man,
sad one.
No, that's another one in the ground right now. He's right. He's right. He's gonna bloom sooner because he's gonna get the push. Watch.
Give him the Mamba. Malkoon, kill that man.
I mean, you get the price. Yeah, that I'm kind of, I was like kind of Lance with Marquez, man. never again. Like, that guy's a bum. He is a real bum. Usually, I give it to Barrio though, man. Barrio usually he'll fold up in those kind of fights, and he stayed in there and scrapped. That was actually a good pick. I think both of y'all had Barrio.
I had him by decision, so of course, was banking on Marquez not to gas himself out by throwing too many strikes in the first round, and then
I got on the over, so that one turned out all right.
Smart.
Yeah, I had a little on Arujao as well. Man, she cracked Rebus, I believe, in the first round though, and had her just absolutely chicken leg for a second. But Rebus went to her wrestling, man, and it's a pretty good performance. It was a good call on. Sean got that one too, I believe. And then
I flip-flopped because I'm a fucking moron. I talked about it on the podcast and picked her, and then flip-flopped to fucking Arujao. That's how my 2023 MMA stuff.
Oh man, that does go.
We're hurting right now.
Yeah, and Duplessis, man, like, come on, man. Like, we were in like cruising, and something happened to Brunson at the end of the first round. He caught like a weird elbow upside the head or something at the end of the first round. I saw it too. He was stumbling. I was behind. I had no fucking power at the time. Like 30 hours, I had no power. So I'm like, I'm on a phone. I'm on my laptop trying to get a stream, watch the stream and shit. And it was a little bit behind. I caught it right at the end. Duplessis was still he was plus money after the first round. And I knew it was done. Like, Brunson was hurt at the end of the first round. Comes back out, never shot a takedown in the second round. No. Dude looked drunk. He looked completely out of it. We're going to get Duplessis though. That he's not as good as everybody's like.
He's just not good.
They're crowning him. It's another one where people's crowning him like, oh, he's awesome because he's an idiot and throws this dumbass shit that's going to get him in trouble. Brunson takes him down whenever he wants in the first round. Literally, dude's on his back immediately. That guy's going to get his ass whooped. We're going to cash. Guarantee it.
Duplessis, his cardio held up better than I expected. I thought with the grappling in the first and some of the shit that Brunson was landing, that was going to fade away, and he was still there. And yeah, I don't know. Brunson in the second was very, very annoying. But like you said, he did seem like he got caught, and it was just his cardio was gone, his just kind of everything was gone, and it was just only a matter of time.
It happens. He is almost 40, so we knew it was a possibility in this one.
That's tough. That's tough.
The prelim headliner.
Fuck.
We did have
Munich crashes and burns. Hard to win an inside bet when the guy doesn't throw a punch. That one's tough. And that, we kind of said this, that he was probably going to lose a lot of this fight if he didn't knock Garbrandt out.
Landing 9 strikes through 2 fucking rounds was even a new low. And then, of course, when he starts throwing in the third, he fucking lands on him and does some damage. And then, of course, tries to grapple for some reason. We're obviously not betting on the highest fight IQ fighter, that's for sure. But Garbrandt, to me, Garbrandt is still there. For somebody who's got decent takedown defense and some decent striking. You press forward, you can swing it out with him, and if you clip that chin, he's going to get rattled.
And this was a big step down for Garbrandt, and he still made it interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked all right through 2 because the guy who's fighting did not throw a fucking single strike. And then when he finally did, then it went poorly.
And Garbrandt was still ready to go straight dumb shit. He's out there dancing around, trying to do his shit. And all fucking Jones had to do was actually throw punches. And that just, you get a step up like that and a name like that. And that's what you do. Literally don't even try to throw a punch. Like, I'd probably cut that dude. I'd probably cut him. Like, you don't want it. You don't want it.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Nobody's coming out to watch Trevin Jones. So.
No,
and he's lost a bunch in a row, hasn't he?
Well, I mean, you just
500 fighter in his career, like,
and they give you that kind of push. Like, you're getting a name. Whatever you think about Cody Garbrandt, he's a former champion. Like, he has a name. Like, here's a dude a
If
name
you
guy,
finish him, if you beat him, that means something.
and he's got a fucking obliterated chin. Just swing. Fucking swing on him. What are you doing, kid? Like, whatever.
Nope.
Pay-per-view time. Kicked it off with the main event. No, Lance would pretend it was the main event if he was here, but Bo Nickel did Bo Nickel kind of stuff, I guess.
After kneeing the guy in the balls. I mean, it wasn't ever gonna matter, but he definitely hit him in the pills.
That was a blatant. That was a blatant nut shot.
Yeah.
But
Good
still,
move. You just got to take him down really quickly after you give him a nut shot, and then you'll get away with it. That's high fight IQ.
Like, you can't play, dude. It's still a cage fight. Like, have I don't know. I don't guess a lot of people's been in fights and street fights and shit, but like when you're scrapping somebody, like, you're not feeling nut shots. Trust me, you have to get a nut like rupture to. You're not gonna like stop.
Are you volunteering?
To punch a guy.
Should we test this out? Are we getting scientific?
No, I'm just saying. Like, I'm just saying. I've been in plenty of fights to where you're getting a knee to the nuts, all kind of shit. These guys got cups and shit. I'm like, I just don't want to hear Pickett saying that's why he lost the fight. He's like trying to protest.
He was gonna lose regardless.
Yeah, like, come on. Look, that's what Bo was there to do. Like, he needed to do that. He did it. He performed on the big stage. You can see the room for improvement. Like, that sub should have been finished way before that. He wasn't doing the right things on the mat. So there's what's scary is there's massive room for improvement to Bo Nickel. We should slow down. This isn't going to be a guy that gets slow rolled, I don't think, though. Like, he's too good. They're already giving him like a halfway name guy. Like, Pickett is a known fighter. He's not some bum off the Contender Series. I'm not saying he's good, but
he is.
He's got UFC fights, and he's been on like main cards and shit already. That's kind of more my point. But
it's a bum from Contender Series that's hung around in the UFC because those guys hang around in the UFC now.
That's the UFC.
They're on 8 and 8 contracts and shit. 12 and 12s.
They'll probably give him a guy just outside the top 15 next.
Well,
I'm saying, not get crazy. When Cumshot came into the UFC, he got John Phillips and Rice McKee.
Yeah.
Like,
well, okay, so Bo got fucking Pickett. He's probably gonna get another sort of bum. But after that, man, like, we're talking like they gave Cumshot Gilbert Burns, who about fucked his whole shit up.
That was like 3 more fights later.
That was a bunch more.
He fought Meerkat. He fought somebody else in there. Like,
well, yeah, you're right.
A couple dudes.
But like, I think that's kind of a fast track. 4 or 5 fights and Bo Nickel's fighting top 10 guys. That's gonna happen though. He's gonna beat these next few bums.
Yeah, especially when he has like 3 professional.
I just think we should slow down a little bit because you never. I mean, look what happened to Cumshot when a guy's actually is a force and is hitting you in the face. Like, Bo Nickel's never been punched in his life. Like, that dude's still never been punched in his life. None of these dudes have punched him. I think the guy is incredible and he could be a title contender one day. I just think we should slow our roll till we see that guy in an actual fight with somebody. But
Jamie
he's
Pickett
awesome.
did hit him in the body once. Does that not tell you anything, Wes? Come on.
I love it.
Sean, thoughts? Additional?
No, we're good.
Next up, fight of the night? No, I guess the co-main event actually was pretty good, and so was the fight after this. Lightweight division, Mateus Gamrot, split decision against Jalen Turner. Sean, we'll start with you here.
I thought Jalen Turner looked all right considering the guy he was fighting. I kind of expected him if he didn't get him out of there early with all the grappling that he was going to tire. He seemed pretty fresh even in the third. Like, I know the pace kind of slowed down and Gamrot wasn't really scrambling his ass off like he's used to later in the fight, but that's pretty good performance against a very tough matchup. So I still think there's Jalen Turner is going to be pretty damn good. Gamrot, shit gets kind of sketchy when he can't implement real like his grappling game fully. His striking's okay, but at the upper echelon, it does get exposed a bit. But he was able to get away with it here.
Yeah. If Gamrot can hang around in 5-round fights instead of 3-round fights, he's going to be a whole lot better off.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of those fight night cards to fill right now because I think he can keep going for 25, and not a lot of guys can hang with him for those last 10 minutes. Weston?
Yeah, Gamrot would be an absolute terror in a 5-round fight. I was impressed by Jalen Turner, though. Like, he kind of shut a lot of Gamrot's game down. Gamrot wanted to get inside and get a hold of him. Shit, he couldn't do it. Like, and chunks of that fight. But yeah, Gamrot's a tank, man. That guy keeps going. Just struggled with the length and size of Turner, though. Like, that's a big dude at that weight class. Turner uses his reach and his distance fairly well. I was impressed by Turner, even in a loss. I thought he lost the fight. I thought the split decision was kind of stupid, but yeah, I'm impressed by Turner. And Gamrot's just gonna be a problem for a lot of guys, man. He's gonna put you in a grind and a pace that, like, not everybody's Jalen Turner with that size. And Gamrot's gonna get a hold of you, and it's gonna be a problem.
And he's like blown out the lower level guys that he's fought in the UFC, and then struggled with guys and been competitive with guys who are really good. And I just think this fight tells us more that Turner is pretty damn good than Gamrot's anything bad. Another guy, pretty good.
This was good stuff.
Pretty good. The Shave Cat. What to say about the Shave Cat, Sean? He's a dude.
Dude, he's becoming one of the best action fighters in the UFC. Obviously, with that record, undefeated, all by finish, it's always going to be a fun time watching him fight. I know there's probably people that are maybe more down on him because he did have some hype by getting hit by Jeff Neal, but I was very impressed. He showed a great chin. He can be in one of those type of fights with a heavy hitter like Jeff Neal and come through. There's a lot of guys out there that would not have lasted that long as Jeff Neal. I think the Shave Cat could have got a lot of other guys around that ranking out of there. He's going to be very good. He's got an all around great game, and yeah, sky's the limit. I hope he gets a big fight next.
We'll say there's a lot of 170-pound guys that wouldn't have been out there. Jeff Neal was not a 170-pound guy by any stretch of the imagination coming into that fight. Yeah, this is the type of fight I'm talking about when I talk about Bo Nickel. This is all I need to see. I would pick Shave Cat tomorrow over Usman or Leon Edwards tomorrow.
Oh, making a statement.
I'm picking him over Usman tomorrow. That's the dude. That is the guy. That's the future welterweight champion of the world. Period. That guy is that dude. Firefight with Jeff Neal, loving every second of it, smiling. Lost his mouthpiece.
Never in trouble.
No, lost his mouthpiece for most of the first round. It never said no. Was like fuck this and just kept throwing down. Yep. And then the choke at the end, like everything about that fight is everything I want to see out of an MMA fighter. That guy's the real. Shave Cat will be the welterweight champion of the world.
And hopefully before the end of the year.
Probably.
That might be
need him to get that title shot.
I don't know.
That's the problem.
I don't know. Be end of the year.
The problem is he's just like, I don't know who's going to fight this guy. So unless they're forcing somebody to fight him, it's going to be a tough one for anybody.
Usman and I guess they're already 1-1. So whoever wins this kind of wins the Usman.
We don't need to worry about a quadrilogy again.
Exactly. So it's Shave Cat next.
Well, if Fat Boy would make weight, the blockbuster like title eliminator is him and Fat Boy fucking Schmesh. Like I don't know if that guy's ever gonna make.
Schmesh is
he's not coming back down to 170.
I don't think he is either. Yeah, I don't think he is either. But that's Man, you talk about a fight right there. Shave Cat.
Shave
That'd
Cat
be-
against
that'd
Covington
be
would be
awesome.
fun if they can make
That'd be-
Covington take that fight, right? That'll answer some questions about his takedown defense. If
I
you're
don't
still wondering.
I think his takedown defense is better than Covington's
Offense.
25 minutes of taking Shave Cat's output. I just
Yeah.
nobody's taking that, man. Nobody is taking that.
No, he doesn't have to stop them all. He just, if he gets you to the clinch, then you're in trouble. You're just eating shit to the body all day. It's
Jeff
brutal.
Neal is a banger, man. Like that guy bangs. Probably he came in.
Put Luke
Yeah,
and he came in like a weight class heavy.
Came in a weight class heavy and is a banger. And Shave Cat just threw down with that motherfucker. Like how can you not love that dude? Like come on, man.
Awesome. Enough about him though. Moving on to the co-main event, and what can I say? It happened. I enjoyed it. I lost my my $10 on Grasso by decision.
Ooh.
But that's all right. It was worth it nonetheless. Shevchenko is gone. She's out of our lives forever. She's never fighting again.
If only it was that
Wish.
easy, Brad. I don't think it will be, unfortunately.
Kick her out of the UFC. Kick her off the tour, Doug.
Kick her off the tour.
Come on.
Yeah, she that was a Shevchenko choke job. She blew it. I know lots of people talked about which spinning kick was worse, the Weidman or the Shevchenko.
They're
It
close.
was definitely
both up
Weidman
there.
because that man got years taken off. His
Yes,
life
that is
because of
true.
that kick.
Yeah, Shevchenko just got her jaw smashed in, whereas Weidman
Looked like the goddamn Polish flag out there when Grasso took her arms off her.
That composer tweet of that like that was a squeeze.
Yep,
No doubt.
that was. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it happening. I didn't think the grappling was going to be there for Grasso, and
Nope.
I don't know. I think this is going to be a tougher rematch than when Nunes fought Pena.
I don't think so. I think they're gonna rematch this. Shevchenko's gonna. She was cruising.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm
she-
saying. Like
she was.
Shevchenko's- I mean,
She was about to be up.
it was.
I
it
don't-
was-
She didn't
Well,
get her
you're-
back taken. She was going to be.
She
up
didn't get her
3-1,
back
bro.
taken. It would have been 3-1, but
I will
4-4.
say you're right about Nunes because Nunes can knock
Yeah.
somebody out and finish him, of course. So it's not good. But I think she will win like a 50-45 decision when they rematch this. Like she was Grasso still cannot stop anybody's takedown. Shevchenko
know.
could take her down whenever she wanted. And like Grasso had a little bit of success in the first round and people were losing their minds. They're like, oh my God, she's landed on. I'm like, dude, she landed like 2 or 3 good punches. She had a
Yeah,
little
I'm not
success.
even sure if she won that round, to be honest.
I didn't score it for her. I know most
the
people
judges
did.
did.
I think I
Um,
did, like live, but I was drunk, so like,
But
what
like
does that matter?
after that first round, and like Shevchenko took a couple punches, like fuck this, and started just right, and then does the dumbest shit. Like always,
Yeah.
fighters get complacent and like, oh, I'm cruising and do dumb shit. That's a 50-45 decision for Shevchenko in the rematch, and nobody's gonna want to see it.
Nope.
Nobody's gonna want to watch her fight again.
Didn't the line already get super tight? So
Yeah, I think
Shev,
she's like minus 250 or something was the opener, minus 230, something like that.
I think it came down from there,
Minus
too.
182 now.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
That's a banger bet. That's a fucking banger bet. What are people doing? Why are people so like?
What's the decision prop?
Yeah.
Somebody said it the couple of days. Like MMA, the sport of MMA has the biggest "what have you done for me lately" fucking fans. Literally,
Yep.
what they saw the last night they watched it is all that matters. That's it. It's crazy.
Speaking of all that matters, that card's in the book. The next one is all that matters for us to make some money, maybe. I don't know if we want to try something new.
That's pushing it.
But we
Famous,
got
make
the-
money. You know.
Yeah, we got the a big main event. Petey Yan against the Georgian snooze machine. This is a clash of the titans. I mean, Yan isn't actually boring. It's just, the name is there.
Well, the
but
snooze machine
just-
is
just wrap some pillows on the end of these dudes' fists and let them go to town. Just have a little tussle. A couple of men of my stature, a couple little Russian hobbits just rolling around in the cage. It should be a fun time. But we're gonna kick it off. Sean, I know you're gonna get pissed off at me like right away because the order is gonna be off. Because the first fight on Tapology is number 2, so it's already fucked up. Let's go. Let's see what the right order
good.
is.
That is because the Abubakar Nurmagomedov fight got canceled this morning.
Oh man, are you kidding me?
I know, bummer.
That was
that was the banger of the start the night out. Fuck.
All right. Well, we're starting it off in the flyweight division, and this one could be a banger, honestly. Tyson Nam, always ready to throw down as a tiny man, taking on Bruno Silva. And I don't know, Bruno Silva, don't really have the greatest opinion of him, but he's just kind of there. He's been around in a lot of fights. Sean, what do you got here?
Tyson Nam is usually always in fun fights, so this is actually going to be a good start to the card for once in a little bit. The dude obviously has big power, especially at this weight class. He touches you, usually you get hurt, and I think his takedown defense it's going to get tested a bit in this fight. I think it will hopefully hold true, and if this is on the feet, then this is gonna be a close fight, and I give the edge to Nam. So I'll take him. I haven't bet him yet, but it's plus 170 at this point.
It's creeping. Wesley.
Yeah, I mean, over at Dave Mason opening
book.
Looked like they opened him at minus 150, which is one of those funny openers at Bet Online. I know he's kind of proud of his openers nowadays, but some of them are kind of off, and I don't know, it kind of moved, and now we're smashed. The other way. So I appreciate it. Like I'm same way here. I like Tyson Vietnam here. I just think in this spot, I know Bruno Silva's got he finished JP Baez on the feet, but come on, a dude gets finished by a swift win. I think Bruno Silva needs this to the mat to have success in this fight. I think Tyson Nam's takedown defense is fairly good, but Tyson Nam hits like a truck for these size dudes. And I think that's his main takedown defense. When Bruno Silva is trying to wade in and get a hold of him, he's going to catch some of those punches, and I think Tyson Nam can get Bruno Silva out of there eventually. I'm kind of surprised at this line. It's 2 lower weight guys, not highest level. There's a lot of variance here, but this might be one of my favorite spots on the card, crazily enough, at the price. I like Tyson Nam a lot. Plus 170. It's kind of crazy to me, and I think you got to look at KO or inside the distance as well.
Yeah, I like Tyson Nam here. I bet him several times in the past. Doesn't always come through for you, but when he loses, it's to pretty damn good guys. Like Tyson Nam's losses are Sergio Pettis, good old Steve France, and Danger Schnell in a pretty tight fight that was kind of surprising to all of us, the way that went down, with Schnell not getting blasted on the feet for once. And Bruno Silva's beat just bums. Like, he hasn't beaten anybody good in the UFC. He's been competitive with guys that we think are kind of good, but we don't really know. It's just we've seen a lot more from Tyson Nam. He's still consistent, even though he's old as dirt for a flyweight. And I'll take the shot. I think this is also probably one of those spots where you can look at the finish only line, because Nam is super durable. And if he wins, it's most likely going to be by finish. I just don't think a book has that open yet. But I'd like that at plus 40, just as much as I like the money line at plus 170. So Tyson Nam, are we kicking it off?
That is
consensus to start the card. There you go.
Bang,
We're getting
bang.
it out of the way one way or another.
Guaranteed winner to start the card. This is the turning point. We're circling the wagons right here. Bantamweight division. Tony Gravely taking on Victor Henry. Good scrap, Sean.
I fell into the Victor Henry hype after that Barcelos fight, and obviously he just kind of got old manned against Assunção. That was a very surprising result. The odds said that as well. Assunção was able to get him down and get some ground control. Tony Gravely is going to need to get Victor Henry on the ground. I think he can do it. Hopefully his grinding style, and if he doesn't get the takedowns, at least grind on the fence and wear Henry out. So when it isn't a striking, he isn't at such a disadvantage. I think Tony Gravely's got a decent shot at wrestling his way to a win here. Maybe I'm swinging too far back after I got too high on Henry. Now I'm too low on him. But in this stylistic matchup, as long as Gravely doesn't get killed early, I think he can implement the grappling and wear Henry out and get a decision. So I took Gravely at plus 125. Cool bet for a unit.
Wesley.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same track here as well. Just talking about start of the show about all these dogs that are losing, and I'm firing once again here. Yeah, I think that was a good win for Henry against Barcelos, but I also kind of think that was the peak of what you're going to get out of Victor Henry, and Sean touched on it. I think the way Assunção fought him is exactly what Gravely can do here. Gravely loses to a lot of guys that can put a pace on him and get in his face and throw a lot of punches. I think his wrestling can counteract that with Henry. I'm just not sure Henry can put that kind of pace and that amount of volume on Gravely to win a fight here. So at plus money on Gravely, I think he can wrestle his way to a decision here. So it's another bet for me.
I think I'm going Henry here. Not super confident in it. I'm definitely gonna wait because the line is moving towards Gravely. So maybe Henry ends up plus money by the end of the week. I just think that Rafael Assunção has proven for like 15 years now that he's one of the toughest dudes out there to try and fight. And Victor Henry ran into a dude that is super tough to fight. And, it wasn't a blowout by any means, but he certainly lost that fight. I think there's a lot more you can take from the Barcelos fight as far as Gravely goes, because Assunção makes you not able to pull the trigger because of what he does on the feet. Gravely's not going to have that problem. Henry's going to be pulling the trigger. It's just a matter of if he can stop enough of the takedowns like he did against Barcelos to just pile up that pace. So I think that Gravely can slow down a little bit and Henry can take over later in this fight and maybe take a decision. I don't think he's got huge stopping power, so I don't see him getting Gravely out of there. But I'm going to take Henry. We'll wait and see if it ends up being a bet. Women's flyweight, something called JJ Aldrich taking on Ariane Lipski, who for some reason I always thought she was Polish, but she's Brazilian. I guess because she fought in KSW. I don't know. Sean, what's happening here? Do we care?
Probably not. Lipski's horrible. Aldrich is the better striker. I think she's the better grappler. I think Aldrich is going to win whichever way it plays out. I know the number is pretty wide. I was able to catch kind of a slow-moving book. I got Aldrich at minus 278. It's getting pretty wide out there now, but I put her in a one-unit parlay.
Wesley.
Yeah, I like Aldrich here. I think Lipski's so bad. Like, I don't hate Aldrich even as a parlay piece at Sean's price, but not at this price. It's getting up to like minus 400 in spots. You just can't do that. I actually looked at Aldrich inside the distance is like plus 250. Lipski's really, really bad. And when she gets beat, she usually gets stopped. I know Aldrich doesn't have a bunch of finishes, but she's got a couple against people that she dominated on. I would not be surprised if Aldrich finishes Lipski here, and plus 250. I might take a small stab on that, but Aldrich is definitely the pick.
Next up I'm picking Aldrich. Next up in the bantamweight division, Mario Bautista taking on King Guido. Godfather Guido. Grandfather Guido. This is an old man. Sean, does he have one more miracle left in him? I
don't think so. Have we? I don't think we've ever seen a fighter win 2 straight and be a minus. Well, the guy he's fighting is minus 1,000. That is pretty wild to see. Two fight win streak and you're like plus 600 against not somebody that's an elite talent. That's crazy. I mean, at this number, like, what are you gonna do with Bautista here? Like, I don't. He should win. Obviously, look at the line. I'm not playing him. I didn't really try to find a way to play it.
Sub is even money.
So yeah, sub's even money, and I think what TKO is like plus 200. Like, fuck, that's a tough. Maybe Guido can just pull another rabbit and we get another like plus 600, plus 700 dog and tout master. We've had a couple of those so far this year. It's been a little wild, but Bautista should get this done and get this done fairly quick.
Wesley.
Yeah, I will say I wish I would look like the old Guido here in another year when I turn 43. I will say that, but Bautista's gonna truck this dude. Like, but Bautista's actually has gotten very good. Like, he's become a very good fighter. He's gonna truck Guido. I think it's by sub. I'm not laying even money on a fucking sub price. I think Bautista inside the distance like minus 300 or minus 350, something around there. I mean, that's probably safe if you want to parlay it, but I mean, would I be shocked if Guido gets beat up for 15 minutes? No. Like, I don't want anything to do with this. Bautista's going to truck this guy.
I'm probably going to have like $5 on Guido round 1 for the culture.
There we go.
Because you got to. It's plus 2,000 at Bet Online, so it'll probably be like 2,500 somewhere. It's inevitable. The old man's going to do it again. No, he's going to get killed. Yeah, this is quite the interesting matchmaking. Bautista's good, man. It's maybe under. I think even the under 1.5 is like minus 150, something like that. It's not too pretty out there. So I don't know what I'm going to bet other than lighting $5 on fire. Maybe I'll just like record myself lighting $5 on fire instead. We'll see.
Watch it melt. Because we have plastic money here.
That's right. I've got a fireplace. It's fine. It's all professionally done, contained. Middleweight division. Cedrique's Dumas taking on Josh. You got a Fremd in me. Sean?
I can give old Fremd a pass for the Anthony Hernandez loss. You do not get a pass for almost getting decapitated by Trayshawn Gore. That is bad. I don't know how good Dumas is, but he's good enough for me to pick him.
Wes?
Yeah, I at least got a good meme tweet out of that. Said no, our boyfriend's gonna have to wear turtlenecks for the rest of his life. That shit looked ugly, man.
That was frightening.
Yeah, I don't know much about Dumas, but same with Sean. Like this you got a friend in me, dude. It's just not good. I'm gonna pick Dumas here, but I don't really have anything on this fight as far as a bet.
I mean, if there are any lasting effects from Fremd's last fight, then also won his last fight by round 1 guillotine. Okay, I'm back.
You're good now.
We missed the first part of the good. The good
missed
bet,
the goodness.
Though.
You gotta rewind it and give
yeah,
it
I mean that neck's still a little giraffe on Fremd, and Dumas looks like he goes for the guillotines. I mean that was the only one that he's got on his record, but he at least went for that one. So if you can do it to some guy in Contender Series, you can do it to a guy who got turned into a pretzel by Trayshawn Gore. So I think it's got to be Dumas sub plus 325. I don't know what quick sub will be, but yeah, we'll probably look in that direction because why the hell not? Now we get to there's some bad stuff after this, but this one's good. Bantamweights, old man bantamweights that are liking to throw down these days. Davy Grant taking on the man we just spoke about earlier, Rafael Assunção. It's a decent scrap, Sean.
It is, and this might be something where I overrate Assunção's last win. I've made some money on Davy Grant in the past as well, but I think Assunção has the edge in grappling. When it's on the feet, it's a fairly close fight. So with Assunção being, I got him at like plus 135 for a unit. I think it's gonna be a close fight, and I see slight edges for Assunção. Grant obviously has the power, but Assunção he's still good at that old age, but you never know when it's gonna fall off. But that was a very good performance last time out, so I'm banking on him keeping it rolling.
Wesley?
Yeah, I think Brad hit on it when we was talking about the last fight. It's just Assunção is a tough dude to fight, even still now, and I think Davy Grant's gonna have a tough time fighting Rafael Assunção in this fight. I think on the mat, this isn't like close. I think Assunção can get takedowns, can get top game here and roll how he wants. On the feet, I think it's close. I just, Davy Grant's got that power. You definitely gotta worry about. But man, Assunção at plus money against 37-year-old Davy Grant, looking the way he's looked. I mean, even in the win over Smoke, Smoke hasn't looked great. Like he was performing against Davy Grant, until he wasn't. So how are you passing out Assunção here at dog money? So I got to take that. It's another dog I like on this card.
So I don't know why this one didn't come up in the chat because I like Assunção too. As I said earlier, he's super tough to fight. Every guy that looks, I don't know, like a 7 against some other guys, if he fights Assunção, he's going to look like a 4. It's just the way the dude fights. And Davy Grant's been competitive against guys that will just sort of bang with him. Like your Yanez's and your Veras and guys who have no defense. But that's not what Assunção is going to do. Assunção is going to circle. He's going to pick his spots. Even at his age, it's not like Davy Grant's young. I think Assunção is probably actually going to be the faster dude here. And mix in a takedown or two, I think he gets it done. So I like Assunção. What's the decision price on old Hafi?
It is
plus 220 is the best out there. That's not great.
20.
Just money line. Yeah, we're going to Assunção. How did we not talk about this one?
I think because Lance was not on board, I think. So then
yeah.
I didn't talk about it. But I don't know. I doubt Lance is going to like Tyson Nam either. So I guess it don't matter.
Yep. All right. We are moving on up to apparently heavyweights. There's Lucas Brzeski. That was bad. More liquid. Taking on Carl Williams. I'll work on that while Sean breaks this one down.
I don't have much to break this down. I guess I'll take the heavyweight that's probably going to get the other one down and be able to lay on for long periods of time and probably not throw that many punches. So I guess I'll take Williams.
I'm glad you clarified at the end, because through that breakdown, I had no idea which one of them you were talking about.
Fair.
Wes, is it Brzeski? Does it go Brzeski?
No, I mean, one dude lost to Martin Boudet. The other dude didn't. So I'm going to pick the dude that didn't. But this is going 15 minutes. So if I want to lose any money on this fight, it's going to be on the over. It's not a fatty, but it's 2.5. If I play anything, it'd be that. But yeah, this is just total shit. Like, what are we doing anymore? What are we doing? This is like,
wait, there's more.
What are we doing?
So I remember this Williams fella from the Contender Series, because the dude that he fought was like a Penn State All-American in college. Everyone's like, oh man, this Jimmy Lawson fella, he's the next thing. And then he comes out and gets out wrestled by some dude that played basketball at like Tapioca Pudding State or something. So yeah. And then the other guy lost to Martin Bidet. So I think I'll go Williams. I have no real interest in betting this one. Maybe we'll hop on the super fatties, but I don't love those, to be honest.
No, they're not the same.
No. Main card, Vitor Petrino. This man looks like a discount Vitor Belfort.
This is Bobby Petrino's love child. What? They have it with the chick he wrecked on the motorcycle with? Was she
It wasn't
Brazilian?
an accident, Wes. It wasn't an accident.
I thought she was some white chick. Is she Brazilian? What the fuck?
Maybe. This he's an impressive looking fella.
Now the other guy looks like he's got a promo pic for his OnlyFans account. Like I love when this guy comes up, because
It's the pleasure man.
every time I see his Tapology fan, like, that dude's busting one. He is absolutely busting one right now.
Hey, the pleasure man can stay in the UFC for as long as he wants. He got sacrificed at the altar
To the
of
jail
the jail man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he earned his spot here. He earned it the hard way, hard style. Isn't that what they call it?
He's pleasuring in this pic. That's no fucking
That is
no doubt.
That kissy face, man. That takes balls to have that as your Sherdog photo.
I'm not looking at shirt on.
He's looking at the Tapology.
I'm
one.
looking at
Oh,
the
is there
tap.
a better one on
No,
Tapology?
you gotta go to the Tapology pic. He's literally busting one in his Tapology pic.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus. This man is interesting. I'm picking him. I mean, to have the confidence to be busting one in your Tapology photo, and then in your Sherdog, it's like a model shot. You must be decent. He'll probably lay on this other guy for a bit and grind on him, and it's going to be a sexy time.
Is it Brazilian Petrino, Wes, for you?
Yeah, actually, I gotta go with the Brazilian Petrino. I mean, he's one of the few dudes that actually got a finish on the Contender Series and is getting a fight this time. Looked okay. I think last season it was just mostly trash that we saw on that, but I guess he looked okay. I don't know here, man. I'm gonna pick Petrino's love child, but there's just no bet for me here.
Yeah, he beat that guy for the second time, if I was listening correctly back when we watched that, and it seemed a little more difficult this time than the first time, which probably wasn't bad, because the other guy, whose nickname is Tractor, like 700 other Brazilian fighters, was shockingly trying to take him to the ground. Never seen a Brazilian nicknamed Tractor try and do that before.
Like,
Crazy.
are you a welterweight or above in Brazilian? Your nickname's Tractor.
Tractor. Did you spend literally any time on a farm ever?
Yeah.
Yep, that dude's a tractor right there. I guess they farm differently in Brazil. Just put a yoke on those guys' back, and they just walk through the fields like a mule. Anyway, I kind of impressed by Vitor on Contender Series. I think that the Pleasure Man's going to struggle to get him down, and somebody's going to be busting one after this fight, but I don't think it's going to be like the Tapology pick would have you think. We'll go with Vitor in this one. Bantamweight division, Jonathan Martinez going on a run again. Has he tricked enough people into thinking that this time he's the dude as he takes on Saeed Nurmagomedov? Little Saeed bet here, Sean. Do you have a little Saeed bet?
I definitely have a Saeed bet. I've been able to cash in on our buddy's little run here, but yeah, I'm cashing him out. I think Nurmagomedov is just a better striker. I think he's a better grappler. I think Martinez is gonna get kind of exposed once he's finally fought he's fighting a real fighter and not an old guy. So I know Nurmagomedov didn't look great early on against the cockrammer, but I think Romanov is very good at what he does. So that's not going to be the case. This is going to be a striking fight, and I think Nurmagomedov is the better striker. So I put him in a 1-unit parlay.
Wesley.
Yeah, I've made pretty good on our boy Martinez the past year and a half or so as well, but like who is this? Who's this guy fighting, man? And like people are really sold that he's taken a step up to the Saeed's level. Like, give me I would probably bet the Cockman against Jonathan Martinez tomorrow. Like that dude's legit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't see it here, man. I'm gonna be big on Saeed here. I've already worked him in parlays with basketball and just other shit, but I think you're getting a fucking price here that's just kind of crazy to me, man. I think people are just way overvaluing Jonathan Martinez in this fight. Maybe undervalue Saeed a little bit off the last performance, but I think that was just fighting a guy that's legit. I think the whole Ramos is fucking legit as well. So I love Saeed in this fight. Way better guy on the feet, way faster hands, better on the mat. I don't get it. Maybe I'm completely wrong here. I've been wrong a lot this year, but I love Saeed in this fight.
Yeah, the two times we've really seen Saeed struggle in the UFC are when guys can take him down and have a little bit of time controlling him. And they're also pretty fucking good fighters in Romanov and Barcelos. Mm-hmm. Like, the Andrade fight was competitive too, but that dude's a super gremlin, so that doesn't even count. That is a statue to magma right there. Douglas Silva, on drugs. It's my dude. Martinez isn't going to take Nurmagomedov down in this fight. This is going to be a striking match, and you've got a guy who got knocked out by Davy Grant against a very talented striker. So Saeed bet for me too. He is the start of a 2-unit parlay. Ooh, exciting. Featherweight division, Ricardo Ramos taking on Austin Lingo. Sean.
Ramos is just a better guy here. I think he's going to be able to take down Lingo. I know Kilburn struggled to take down Lingo, but Ramos is not Jacob Kilburn. Ramos is going to get top time. He possibly could get him out of there on the mat. When it is on the feet, it's probably more competitive, but I just don't think it's going to be on the feet that long, and Ramos will show the grappling difference in this fight. So I put him in that Aldrich parlay for 1 unit. It comes out to -120.
Wesley.
Yeah, I don't think Austin Lingo's very good. I know he's got a couple wins here, but he's going life and death with Kilburn and fucking Luis Saldana and shit. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? I think the only thing you got to worry about here is if Lingo just hangs around and Ramos has to do a lot of work and can't get him out of there, you got to worry about that gas tank a little bit. I think that's the only worry in this fight. I think Ramos is going to get takedowns and eventually find a sub. I like Ramos here. It'll be in a small parlay, and I wish the sub was a little bit higher. I think there's a plus 270 sitting out there. I wish it was a little bit higher. Probably play it. I might still grab a little bit of that. I think he's going to get Lingo down and eventually find a sub.
Yeah, Ramos is, we know he's got the talent, doesn't always show it on fight night. Sometimes the performances are a little bit of a mystery, and he'll have success for like the first 3 minutes, like against Lerone Murphy, and then just be like, you know what? I'm out of here. I don't really think that Lingo's the guy to do that, though. He's got a little bit of power, but not much other than that. So unless he lands something huge on Ramos, I think that the skills everywhere else favor the Brazilian. So don't have it bet in anything yet. I would imagine that we're going to see this go to decision just because Lingo seems like he's tough to get out of there. So that's a little bit of a concern, as Wes said. But I guess I'm picking Ramos by decision. I don't know. It's kind of a strange one for me that I don't feel comfortable betting. Franklin Wade? No, the opposite of Franklin Wade.
Yeah.
What's geez, what would
almost
this be called?
Cruiserweight is what it is.
Yeah, I know. Who in MMA would be this?
Is that
a light
thick
heavyweight
Willie
that missed weight a bunch of times?
Is that thick Willie weight?
There you go, Willie weight.
Yeah.
We got Willie weight. You know, you need the extra 10 pounds to accommodate. Nikita Krylov taking on Ryan Spann. The match so nice, they booked it twice after it was supposed to be a main event. Now it's third on a fight night card because every card's a banger and definitely worth watching, folks. Sean, what do we got here?
Not too much. The first time this was matched up, I had Krylov in a parlay, but the other leg lost. Surprise. I'm just leaving this be. This fight likely ends early. Probably Krylov, but under 1.5 is like minus 140. I just don't really want to lay that juice. It's probably comes through easy because either of these guys are getting guys out of there early. So, but I'll just let it be. I'll pick Krylov to get it done.
Krylov was the one that was sick last time, right?
Yeah.
I'm not imagining that. Okay.
He had the shits.
Got
Had
the
to.
sports.
Hey, you just got to go out there like Tim Sylvia. You got to suck it up
Like
and then
YOLO.
let it out. All right.
YOLO. You just gotta do it. Use
Yeah.
it to your advantage.
Well, I didn't want to make the comparison to YOLO because these two guys that are fighting, I mean, you can't put them on that pedestal, but
Fair.
Tim Sylvia, slovenliness, that sounds about right for this fight, right, Wes?
Yeah. This is just there's just I was on Krylov last time. The line was a little bit better. This has just got so much weird shit surrounding it. I might play the under again. I did bet the under 1.5 last time as well. These dudes just throw down, man. Somebody's getting fucked up and under 1.5. So I think the underline was even a little better last time though too. It's kind of juicy this time. So but if I grab anything, it'll be the under. I'm just going to stay away from a side now. It's just there's just too many funny things going on.
I was on Krylov last time. Honestly, I think I'm probably going to be on Krylov this time. It basically comes down to when he goes for his first takedown because he's a wrestler now. Does he get guillotined? If he gets guillotined, he loses. If he doesn't get guillotined, he wins. And that's pretty much how I see this fight going. Spann does have a relatively dangerous guillotine. Like if I could pick a guy for someone to fight and wrestle and hope that they weren't going to get guillotined, Spann is not the guy that I would pick. Maybe that means that sub at plus 600 is worth a shot here. We know that Krylov can be an absolute moron on the ground sometimes. But I think he's going to pull this one through. Ukraine's on a hot streak right now, pushing Russia back. Amasov's actually good. Krylov's got to do something.
Oh
no, but Krylov's
he's on the Russian side.
Yeah,
Ukraine's back in control of that territory right now.
That's fair.
You know,
so Krylov, come
he's
on
Ukrainian
back.
now. Yeah, he's back in. Anyway, it's gonna be Krylov, but man, that Spann sub is tempting. What's Spann sub 1?
Ooh, now
I
you
feel
get
like that would be a big number. Spann in sub 1 is 1,200.
Does that tickle your fancy?
Maybe a little bit. We'll see. Anyway, moving on up, co-main event. Some big boys here. We got a tall boy and a thick boy. It's an interesting combination. The tall boy's getting thicker. You know, he's trying to do the thing where he eats a lot of horse meats and puts some meat on those bones. And the thick guy's getting slimmer. It's weird. It's two heavyweights heading in opposite directions, if you will. Sean, Alexander Volkov, Alexander Romanov. Only one of them spells their name right, but who wins?
This is a close fight, I think. Really, what it comes down for me is Volkov going to be able to survive 1 or 2 takedowns. Romanov is probably going to get a takedown. He gets a takedown against everybody. Volkov, for the most part, has decent takedown defense and decent, grappling once it's on the ground. I don't know what the fuck happened in that Aspinall fight, but for the most part of his career, he's looked decent on the ground and had takedown defense that's respectable. But Romanov is probably going to get him down, so he's got to survive. I think if he does survive, 1 or 2 takedowns, Volkov's going to take over. He's going to just pump that jab. Romanov's going to get tired. Volkov might be able to get him out of there in later in the third, early in the third or late in the second. But that sub early is always going to be scary when it comes to Romanov. I put a bet on Volkov. I got 1 unit on him at plus 140. I thought that was a decent number. He's just got to survive early.
Wesley?
You're muted, Wes, sir.
Amateur shit, just pure amateur shit. Yeah, this was a tough one for me because I like Romanov. I've been on Romanov a little bit, but there's just some things starting to worry me about him, man. Like if he doesn't get you down and out of there, and he's starting to have a little trouble getting him out of there. Like he fucks around a little bit, gets tired, starts gassing, and man, he looks really, really bad when he's tired. So I'm kind of with Sean on this one that Volkov is probably going to get taken down. Man, he rarely ever gets sub. Like he's usually very good off of his back. He'll even throw up subs and stuff. He's got okay takedown defense too. So I think he can make Romanov even work for the takedown, survive a round. And man, Romanov is going to slow down. Like I know Brad said he's trying to slim down a little bit, but man, he's a little pudgy fuck. Like he's I mean, it's heavyweights. Don't get me wrong. It ain't like it matters a lot, but
he went from like 265 to like 235.
Man, he still gasses.
Mission.
He still gasses his ass out, man. Like
yeah, that's true.
I just think with this one guy, you're getting an okay plus number on him, and I just see Romanov not being able to finish, man. Like, I think he's having problems finishing guys once he's going up and level a little bit. And when he can't, he fucking gasses bad. I know Volkov can go 15 minutes here, pump that jab, those body kicks, Volkov those. Like, if he lands a few of those on fucking Romanov without getting his ass taken down, like, I like all that. So, small bet on Volkov here. I still think it's a really close fight, man. Like Sean said, Romanov could take Volkov down and pull some Aspinall off and get a sub. Like, who knows? But I'm going to take the plus money here in a close fight.
So I do have a little bet on Romanov in this spot. Took it, I want to say early in the week, but it's only fucking Tuesday. Earlier in the week, it was still minus 118 at the time. So that means fucking nothing to anybody that's listening right now.
Fraud.
What I'm kind of interested in is the old draw line at plus 8,000 here, because you've got the potential for an early Romanov 10-8 and then gas and lose the last 2 rounds. Or you've got potential that Romanov out-wrestles him for the first 8 minutes or so and then gets his ass beat in the 3rd round by Volkov after he gasses. So I think there's some serious draw potential here. Obviously, if I put a little bet on Romanov at the fraud price, then I think that he's going to have more success with the wrestling or maybe get a finish early on. But if it extends out to 15 minutes, it is going to be a very interesting close fight. So Romanov's the pick, but Bet 365 is plus 8,000 on a draw, and there's a couple different ways that it can get there. They're also heavyweights. Could be a point deduction somewhere. Who knows? Somebody grabs the cage or some stupid shit. Main event. Awesome fight. Bantamweight. 2 very good bantamweights. The snooze machine. The Georgian snooze machine. Podcast favorite around here. Taking on Petey Yan. Sean, what's going on here with these 2 very talented small men?
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. Merab has an absolute motor on him, so I think he's gonna come out hot. Hopefully, Peter Yan kind of speeds up his settling into a fight, because he does tend to give away the first round a lot of times. If somebody's going to be on you that quick, you got to get in and get going. So hopefully that helps him start the engine. Jan's shown very good takedown defense. Merab's going to get him down. I just don't think he's going to be able to hold him down or hold him down for long. Merab's not really a backpack guy. I think that's kind of really the only way you're going to be able to hold down Peter Yan for long periods of time. And when it's on the feet, obviously Peter Yan is quite a bit ahead of Dvalishvili on the feet. So you always do have to worry about his slow starts, but Peter Yan's a 5-round fighter, so that gives him a little bit of leeway, but hopefully he gets in here quick. Because, yeah, like I said, if it's on the feet, it's going to be Yan. I think he ends up winning a somewhat wide decision, even if he gives up the first round, or he maybe gets Dvalishvili out of there after eating up those legs and punching him a bunch for 4 rounds or so. So I put Yan in that Saeed bet. That's plus 110 for a unit.
Wesley and George, that's rough. Win a bunch of bets and lose money because of the stupid Shevchenko.
I tell you.
Wesley, what you got in the main event?
Yeah, Georgian snooze machine, absolute number one podcast nickname of all time. Man, I went back and forth on this fight. I was thinking about Merab. The Yan slow starts. Look, I think Yan is losing the first round. I think it's you should probably almost just count that one against you. Merab is probably gonna get a takedown early. Yan doesn't. I don't think he's got this great takedown defense per se. Man, his scrambles and get up are insane. You are not holding that guy down. I think Sean hit something important also is Merab's not really a backpack type dude. He likes to stay on top. And he more controls than does a lot of damage. I don't think that's good for him in this fight. Once that first round gets passed and Merab's done a bunch of grappling, the dude does got insane cardio, but man, this is 5, and we know Peter Yan gets rolling a little later in fights. Let him have that first. Like, he's probably going to get it anyway. Make him work as hard as you can, and then Jan's going to get going. I think the main thing for me to where I kind of switched is this is 5 rounds, man. Like, Peter Yan over 5 rounds is different. I don't think Merab can implement his game plan for 25 minutes on this guy. On the feet, this isn't close. We've seen Merab on his feet still. Like, he's made some fights fun here lately, and the reason why is because he's gotten clocked. You know what I'm saying? And he's had to, like, fight back from adversity and shit. That's the only reason they've been fun here lately. Yan will box his head off on the feet. So I just think you're not gonna like the early part of this fight if you're on Peter Yan. Like, you're gonna be a little clinch, especially if he loses the first 2, which is possible. It's very possible he loses the first 2 rounds. I just think in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, it's his fight, and I like him here. I kind of switched my pick midweek. Well, yesterday I was, last week looking at the fight, I was liking Merab, but more I thought about it, and yeah, I put him with Saeed. That's the only parlay I'm doing with Yan, though. I still think there's, even though I switched my opinion, thinking more about the fight and breaking the fight down, I still think there's a path for Merab here. Like, Merab could absolutely hump and wrestle his way to a decision here. He could get the first few rounds, but I like Yan over 25 minutes, putting with Saeed. Plus money.
I like Yan here as well. The last time I bet this dude, I literally emptied an account and it stayed empty.
It hurt. I think we all did. It fucking hurt.
That was rough. But to me, this comes down to partly the matchup, but a lot of how fights are being scored right now. The snooze machine is going to have to hold Yan down or control him for entire rounds to win. Because if there's anything happening damage-wise, it's going to be coming from Yan. That's not the snooze machine's game. So here's how we're going to break it down. We've got, you hit that snooze button once, that goes 9 minutes. So Merab's going to win the first 9 minutes of the fight, even if it's by like a little margin, hold him up against the cage. That bullshit that he did to Aldo that made him retire and become a crazy right-winger Bolsonaro dude. That's all the snooze machine's fault, man. That's the snooze machine. That's not Aldo. And then you hit the snooze machine the second time at 9 minutes, and Jan's going to take over. And when does that snooze expire? 18 minutes is the 3-minute mark of round 4. That's when Peter Yan's going to finally find the finish. Round 4 is like plus, I don't know, what did we see in the chat? 1,800, 2,200, something like that. But that's going to be the prop on this one. And Yan and Saeed bets is the parlay. I don't know how we all ended up on the same chalk parlay. That's having me yank on the color a little bit, but we'll make it through.
The only thing that gives me a little hope for our chalk parlay that we're all on, and a lot of people that we know are on, is I've seen some of the mushes that are on Merab this week, and it makes me feel a little bit better.
It's time to start getting it back. We need it. Anything else we want to add on? Did anything like weird happen in MMA over the past week? We were actually talking about fights for once. It's crazy. It's
good. Huh. We've got another pay-per-view next week.
Oh yeah, is that one?
That's a good pay-per-view. The rest of the card is.
Is that one on early too? I thought they were doing that at like an actual UK time.
Yeah, well, somewhat. I think it's a like 1 p.m. start time, so it's early, but it's not crazy early.
Okay, I
don't
mind that
me with this shit.
I think we gotta. I'm at a Rock game this weekend, so
the next card is boys. Those motherfuckers, man.
286, man,
killing me.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that one's on sale as well. So the the pay-per-view that I bought was actually through PlayStation, and I don't even have a PS5. I just got an old busted PS4, and it was on sale for like $58 or something like that. And
Not a bargain.
the stream was if you're a live bettor, it's like 15 seconds behind the live stream, which is reasonable. You can still make that work if you're trying to bet. But yeah, it was better than spending $80 on it or whatever you would normally have to through ESPN Plus. So recommend if that's an option. Anyway, that'll do it for us. Somehow we're going to keep it just under an hour and a half. Oh, there it is. I hear it. We will see you next week. We'll maybe tweet out a Munich for this week, but consensus, Tyson Nam, and a bunch of other shit that we agreed on too. We'll see you next week.